your weekly music and entertainment fix.
Backstage with Sinéad Ní Mhórdha.
With all the best music, interviews, and live sessions.
On Radio Nova.
Yet to come on Backstage, Conor McCaffrey of The Star will be popping in to help you out with your gig picks for the coming week. I'll be chatting to a band who have earned 3 Enemy nominations for the debut album. This year they were nominated for a Brit Award for Best Breakthrough Act. They played an amazing show at the Olympia Theatre Monday night. Maybe you were there. I'm talking of Catfish and The Bottlemen. But now it's time to talk this.
Backstage.
One to watch.
And these guys are one of the buzz bands of South by Southwest this year. They're a Sydney-based band by the name of Spookyland. They're a quartet who are fronted by 24-year-old Marcus Gordon, who harbours quite a fondness for classic artists such as Patti Smith, Lou Reed and Bruce Springsteen. Great taste. The band's debut album is called Beauty Already Beautiful. It was recorded in Omaha, Nebraska. I've been loving this album. It's been on repeat for the past couple of weeks at home. I'm going to play one of the singles from it. This reminds me a bit of Bell X1, Bruce Springsteen, Waves, a little bit of country. Such a great single from Spookyland. This is Big Head on Radio Nova.
Little slut in her
You're backstage with me, Sinéad Ní Mhórdha, on Radio Nova. How great was that song? It's called Big Head. It's from the Aussie band Spookyland, and it's taken from the band's debut album, Beauty Already Beautiful. It was released just earlier this month, and it's well worth getting your hands on. Believe me, it's one that you'll want to listen to over and over again, as I have done the past couple of weeks. All right, it's time for my next guests.
Backstage on Radio Nova.
Here are a band who just took to the stage at Dublin's Olympia on Monday night. They have earned 3 Enemy Award nominations for their debut album, The Balcony, which sold over 210,000 copies in the UK. This year, they were nominated for a Brit Award for Best Breakthrough Act. Cannot wait to get a hold of their new album, The Ride. It's coming out on the 27th of May. I am talking of Catfish and The Bottlemen. And joining me now are Van and Bondy of the band. Guys, how's it going? Thanks so much for joining me. Tell me, how did the gig go for you Monday night at the Olympia?
One of great fun. It was just such a
One of great fun.
One of great fun. It was just really energetic, wasn't it? Like it was. We were saying it sort of it like superseded even the way people react in England. It seemed like
really
that, but turned up again from like even arriving at the venue. Like the reception from people was just not like anything we've known, really.
Yeah, it's probably the best laugh we've had on stage all year.
Really?
Yeah,
the best laugh?
Yeah, because it was just, like Bondy said when we got out the car to the side stage door, there was, I said that right, didn't I? Stage side door or whatever. Like there was there was a queue of people out the front of the venue and a queue of people down the side of it, and like as soon as we got out of the car they started cheering and stuff. We've never really had that. It was like red carpet or something like that. And and then we stayed with a load of people, and they were just nice. It was just a nice night. Like it was just all round good crack. Went on stage laughing our heads off, and then the crowd sung from the very first song, so it just became
nice.
Very funny.
Nice. I've heard actually, I think Augustine's in terms of like sound barriers and stuff, and they've measured things as they go along and tour. And Scotland had reached the absolute pivotal in terms of sound. Then it came to Dublin, it was a different thing altogether.
I think it's
and Fatway Family have said the same, that it's just bonkers.
Did they sell their research or anything? It's quite like an intricate way of doing it. You know?
Yeah, it is a bit, isn't it? We're going to measure this now.
But I think they all sing collectively, and because everyone's singing like harmonies, and I've found in Ireland, so like everyone's on the balcony, they're all singing like the tenor bit, someone right at the top doing all the low bits, so it's like becomes this massive euphoric wall of vocal. I didn't really sing much myself. I just put
we're going to measure this.
One of those, like it was they were just from every single lyric, and we've not played since the academy here, and before that it got upgraded from Whelan's, you know. And before that we played the little Whelan's upstairs.
Oh yeah.
So and then before that was like some bar in Temple Bar, and it like just to see it progress and then hear people singing it like that was.
So you literally started off even in Dublin with the whole toilet circuit kind of thing,
like everywhere we've been. Even in America, we just went to America. And we missed that because by the time we got over to America, we already had a bit of a fan base in the UK, so it was all right out there. But we've just gone back and did a few small shows just so that they could see us like that, because everywhere we've played have seen us playing toilet. So we went back to kind of put that jigsaw piece back in for Americans, so that it kind of fits the story. Everyone's kind of seen us in that.
We ended up doing some pretty interesting venues from it though. Like we played in this is probably one of the bigger ones on the little stint, but in a place called the Masonic Lodge in Hollywood. It's like some sort of like, it looks like it should be like a cult headquarters or something in the middle of a graveyard. So it's cool getting to see some interesting rooms doing that as well.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was right in the middle of the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. So it was like where we're all like Marilyn Monroe been buried there or something like that, or somebody.
There was 2 Ramones in there. I know.
Oh wow.
A pair of Ramones in there. George Harrison apparently was cremated there and then sprinkled over the Ganges.
Oh, so we'll be completely the Ganges, will you? Very atmospheric. It's been a meteoric rise in one sense, but in another sense, as you said, you've been doing it for 8-9 years. But like now, I know you were saying that you were playing a festival recently, and 4,000 people started running towards the tent, and you thought, must be raining. It's not raining, they're actually running for us. What is it like when you see that, having played the car parks at the venues Ricker Sabian playing, to going playing these tents? What's that whole experience like for you?
It's euphoric. It's like this just euphoria feeling. It's, I don't know.
It's like you say, it's just a huge laugh when it becomes like that. I don't know, it's not disbelief, it just becomes hilarious, because you just look at each other on stage and see what a great time you're having yourselves. people sort of vibe off that. But it's just a big laugh to us, really.
Yeah.
Not that sounds like we don't take it seriously.
No, but you do
like,
take it seriously. Yeah.
Completely take it seriously, but it's just the most fun thing you can do.
Yeah, it's like the feeling of, you know, like after you finish a song and you hear them roar, it's like scoring, like in a cup game or something. But if you play 15 songs, it's like 15 goals. You know what I mean? So it's like every song they cheer, and it's like, what? So it's, I imagine the feeling of scoring, but all for an hour. Just if you just kept scoring for the whole game, the feeling you come off as a football player or any kind of sportsman, and you'd have that little buzz in the dressing room and your mates around, you'd be buzzing about it. It's like all of us are doing that at the same time. Like when the solo drops, Bondy bangs one, and when I sing the chorus and they all sing it, it's like I score, Bob has his bit, Benji has his bit, and it's everyone just has this massive buzz. It's like we've come in after, and we've, every show is like we're coming back off the back of a win, and you know, it's great. It's
great way of describing it. Like.
Is it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it is.
It's that kind of feeling though, just of like, look, you look around and it's like, look at everyone's having a good time, and like just off this, we're having a good time. They are like, there's no. It's just how often you're in a place where it's just positive, like to like mad positive, just people going nuts all together in unison.
Yeah,
that's what I was just saying about last night. The crowd seemed like such a just fantastic mix of people. In the boxes at the side, I could see like middle-aged couples dancing, just like completely losing themselves in it, and then there's, you know, like a lot of younger kids on the floor, and just going everywhere you looked, because the Olympia is so in your face. It's the 3 tiers which just look like a wall. You see everybody's actual face, and everyone just looked euphoric, and they're having such a great time, and it's hard not to just fall about laughing or have a smile on your face when you're looking out at that.
Yeah.
It's quite a wonderful thing that you will feel this universally. Now, I know you take this music business quite seriously. There's no hint of whimsy about it at all. So, Van, before I ask you about how you envisaged all of this, I think I'm going to play something by you now. I'll be back with Van and Bondy of Catfish and The Bottlemen in a moment. But first, let's hear this one. From Catfish and The Bottlemen, this is Soundcheck on Radio Nova.
Maybe I don't act the way I used to, 'cause I don't feel the same about you. In fact, that's a lie. I want you. And I raced through Soundcheck just to meet you on your fag break. You convinced me to put life aside and want you. Yeah. And if only for the sake of it, I could chill you out and drive us through the night to your sisters. You could fall asleep in my jacket as a cover.
Catfish and The Bottlemen on Radio Nova. The track is called Soundcheck, and you are backstage with Van and Bondy of the band. And Van, before I ask you about fans getting, well, rather fanatical, just looking at how you view the whole music career, what you're doing, you do plan things quite meticulously. So what's the plan for Catfish and The Bottlemen?
Well, album's out in 2 weeks, and then
Album, Hawaii.
yeah, exactly like that.
Nice plan.
It's the album's out in 2 weeks, and then we've got a load of headline festivals we played growing up. Same again, like kind of every bar on the way up to the main stage now. So then we've got a few shows. We've got a show with Noel Gallagher. We've got a show with Stereophonics, like Kelly Jones and Noel Gallagher's songwriters and stuff. For us growing up, were just massive, you know, even as just haircuts alone, you know what I mean? You know, never mind the songs. So we've got shows like that coming up, and then at the end of the year, at the end of last year, I predicted arenas, so I'm just sticking to that.
Arenas.
I reckon for this album, and then I reckon the third album will take it somewhere else. But everything's falling into place. It's very. It adds to the shows, like and the way we wake up. You wake up laughing your head off, and you go to sleep laughing your head off. Like I fall asleep crying, laughing with the lads when we're all on the bus shouting stuff at each other and that. And it's strange, but the best feeling. Like I can't even explain how untouchable the feeling is of having your kind of dream run parallel with reality. Do you know what I mean? Like tomorrow, I'm envisioning what's going to happen, and I'll go to bed tonight and think about tomorrow's gig, and we'll walk on stage, and it'll go exactly how we thought, apart from like tripping over wires and all that kind of stuff, which just adds to the humour, which was last night. And
did you fall on stage?
I was on the last note. I was walking right off stage, and I thought, right, oh, what a gig! I was knackered. Went to put my guitar on the top of Bondy's amp, but my cable had caught round my leg like a snake. Oh no! Went flying, landed right, you know. And
the same day, we'd done an interview on the radio, and one of the questions, it was, you know, you get asked like a lot of the same questions, but one of them was, have you ever fallen on stage? Yeah. And I answered saying, like, Van's like a cat. I've never known him to not. He can stumble, but always catches himself. And sure enough, I think the woman who interviewed us came down to the show last night, and then he falls on his ass.
There was no music left to play, though. That was the worst bit. Like, Bondy had been propping me up all night. I'd been bumping into him, and he caught me at one point, and then he went off the stage at one point, and then the last song, finished the last chord, hit the last chord, went to put my guitar down and went flying. Oh, like, there was nothing left to be done. I had to walk back on then and be like, sorry about that.
Sorry. Bound to happen at some point, like, you know. So you're already kind of foreseeing stadiums or arenas and stuff like that. But in terms of fanatics, like, they've already kind of seemed to get to that level. What happened in the fact that your parents actually had to sell their house? Is that true? Or is that something that was just bumped up?
Yeah, so I find that anything that's kind of, if you can't hear us talk on out loud, if it's kind of written, it's all kind of can be misquoted. Like, but my mum and dad run a B&B, and fans found out where that was, and they'd come down and stay, and my dad would go into serving breakfast, and he'd be like, they'd be wearing Catfish shirts and stuff like that, and be like, is he in the house and stuff like that? We'd come to see but my dad would show him around all the practice rooms, and like my mum was giving him old clothes. I'd go back for boots and that. I'd be like, Mum, you got those boots? We got a gig on Saturday. And he'd be like, these Japanese fans came over the other week and I gave them your shoes. Like, you're giving away shoes, are we? What's that about? You know what I mean? They're telling me, they always say to me, you better not change. Like, when everyone says to us, don't change when things get well. I was like, me change? You're giving shoes away?
Shoes away?
You know what I mean?
To buy your own boots.
Losing my wardrobe, like.
Like, so,
pop up an eBay.
Yeah. They didn't have to move house. They just sold their house because they realised that I wasn't a total train wreck these days.
So they sold the walls of Van's room to Japanese tourists.
Yeah, they kind of were just like, so they just moved because, like we said, we used to all live in, like, so Bondy lived in the rehearsal room. It was a B&B.
No way.
I lived in a B&B, cool. Like, so I've always lived in a hotel like we do now. I had a room in a bed and breakfast, and my mum and dad used to run that. People would come in and out and stay. Yeah. So, and we'd be rehearsing in the back. So we were rehearsing outside of a guest house, which was supposed to be quiet every night. We were playing every night. But everyone was all right with it. But yeah, they didn't have to move. It was just people a lot of people started coming over and all that kind of stuff. So it got a bit like, right,
Yeah.
we best be on our travels now. For them, you know, like now they just come and see us play live. They don't have to work now because I think
they got your wardrobe to keep selling.
Well, I think yeah, they were looking after me, weren't they? But now, yeah, like I say, they sell my pillows and all that kind of stuff. They're like, do you want his bed quilts? There's an old lava lamp and all that kind of stuff.
Well, guys, I better leave it there. Now we've got to wrap it up. So, Van and Bondy, Catfish and The Bottlemen, thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
Backstage.
Entertainment update.
And now to help you out with some of the great gig picks coming up over the next week is Conor McCaffrey of The Star. Hello.
Hello, how's it going?
It's going good. Happy birthday.
Thanks very much.
Even though it's a little belated, but I did wish you on the day.
Yes, well, you have to postpone it if you have a birthday on the Wednesday.
Exactly.
Postpone it to the weekend. So, I'm making a weekend of it.
Nice, good stuff. Have the crack. And speaking of having the crack, the Undertones shall be doing just that this weekend.
Yes, they're playing tonight in the Academy. Not exactly Teenage Kicks anymore. They're actually playing their 40th anniversary tour. Of course, original frontman Fergal Sharkey's punk days are long gone after his single A Good Heart. Remember that one? And
you were a fan, really, weren't you?
And his career in the music business, which but Paul McClune, he's like an amazing frontman still. He's been with them for years, and they're still pretty class. The most timeless, catchy punk songs ever, really, from Ireland. So you've got Here Comes the Summer, Jimmy Jimmy, My Perfect Cousin, and of course Teenage Kicks.
Nice.
One of the best, probably the best Irish single of all time. I'd put it out there.
Absolutely, number one for sure. John Peel knew it as well. He played it twice in a row.
Yeah, brought him to tears.
Did it?
Yeah, he said he pulled over the first time he heard it and he just burst out crying.
No.
It's on his headstone as well, the lyrics.
Oh, John Peel.
She's welling up.
Oh, amazing. Okay, on to another group that have been deemed a supergroup, even though they're just a duo. But they're a pretty good duo.
Yeah, I think they're maybe stretching it a wee bit with the supergroup thing. You know, obviously Alex Turner of Arctic Monkeys is an absolute indie superstar, but the Rascals, were they really that big?
They weren't that big. They're good songs. And Miles Kane had some nice solo stuff as well.
Oh, by the way, we haven't mentioned that it's the Last Shadow Puppets we're talking about here.
Oh, that's right, the Last Shadow Puppets, sorry.
The Last Shadow Puppets are playing 3 dates in the Olympia. There's actually tickets for each one left.
I hadn't realised. I thought 2 had sold out and they'd announced the 3rd.
No, I checked earlier.
Yeah, okay,
good. Tickets for. To be honest, I think I prefer the Last Shadow Puppets than either band. You got that more kind of interesting Scott Walker type,
baroque pop orchestral
Morricone
stuff.
type, you know, kind of really widescreen type stuff, like 60s type pop. I think it's just better than the indie rock you get with Arctic Monkeys, so that should be.
I'll be a fan of Arctics, but I see where you're coming from. I do appreciate what the Last Shadow Puppets do as well. So that's going to be good. So that's next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
That's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, yeah.
Nice. Okay, moving on to someone else who I think you were a bit of a fan of.
Yes, I was going to say this is the gig of the year for most people, but I think it might just be talking about myself. But I think probably.
Oh God, who doesn't love the boss?
More than half the country have seen Bruce Springsteen in the last, maybe since he went on tour in The Rising, anyway, since 2003. This one's a wee bit more special because he's playing the whole of the river, start to finish, and then he'll go off, take a bit of a break, and then he'd come out and he'd play probably a set that would be as long as most other bands' full set lists. So, you know, he'd play, you know, all the classics, Born to Run, Thunder Road, and whatever you're having yourself, kind of thing.
He's an amazing performer. I saw him before at the RDS, and he went on for at least 3 hours, and it was just phenomenal.
Yeah, I think this might be my 14th Bruce Springsteen gig. I'm like one of them crazy stalker fans.
Seriously, full on fanatical fan.
I'm not actually going to the one on Friday. I'm going to wait until Sunday. If I could, I'd go to both.
So there are some tickets that happen released.
There's some tickets left, yeah. So
happy days. Conor McCaffrey of The Star, have a good one. Enjoy the birthday fun.
Have a good weekend.
Next Saturday on Backstage.
I'll be chatting to the Dandy Warhols frontman, Courtney Taylor. Peter Devlin is on the way next with the Saturday soundtrack. He has 2 hours of pretty amazing music. He's got tracks on the way from the likes of Folds, The Clash, The Last Shadow Puppets. I'll be back Monday evening at 7, kicking off musical proceedings with 2 hours of 80s, 90s. If you fancy a healthy injection of punk, new wave and old school rock and roll tonight and you're around Dublin, I'll be spinning such tunes at the East Side Tavern. Such a great spot. I may see you then tonight. If not, I'll chat to you on Monday. Time now for the Nova News Update at 7.